Hi there and welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at the Dimensions tab. Now the Dimensions tab is an area in your account that lets you analyse the data in the account from different viewpoints. It's quite unutilized by most advertisers, so by using this data you're going to put yourself at an advantage compared to most advertisers. If we come up here you can see that we have a drop down, and currently the selected view is day of week, so we can actually see how the campaign performs on each individual day. And we have all the usual data here, the click data here in the middle, and the cost and the conversions and cost per conversions. So the way to use this data is to try and highlight areas that are either doing really well or areas that are underperforming. A good example here would be Monday. We can see it's getting a good amount of conversions. It's by far the cheapest day, so perhaps we could be bidding a little bit more aggressive on a Monday. By doing that we're going to be in a better position. Potentially we're going to get more clicks, more conversions, and it's not going to hurt if our cost per conversion goes up, as in this particular campaign the break-even point is $6, as we mentioned in the last video. At the same time, Tuesday is probably the worst day. We only had 19 conversions and these cost nearly the full $6, so we can again make a decision based on this that perhaps we need to manage the bids better on Tuesday and make some bid adjustments in our settings. So perhaps on Tuesday we bid 25% lower and see if that can help us bring the cost per conversion down. So there are many views that we can look at in Dimensions. The view that we were looking in there was time, and we were looking at day of week. In there we also have the day, the week, the month, the quarter, the year, and also that hour of day. Hour of day is quite good. We can use that as well to identify certain hours that are either performing well or costing us a lot per conversion. So you can see a few 7s here and a few 6s. These are clearly hours that are not profitable. So, perhaps we could use some bid adjustment to improve that. At the same time, we can see areas here where we're getting really, really cheap conversions. So again, perhaps we could use a bid adjustment there to be a little bit more aggressive on these hours and try and capitalize on the cheap conversions that we're already getting. Okay, so we go back to the drop down, and there are quite a few options to look at in here, and I do advise having a little scan through and checking them all out, but my personal favourites are the time section, which we were just looking in there. I also like to look in geographic and user locations. This can be really useful if you're targeting a lot of different areas, and it'll help you find out which areas are performing well, and again which areas are costing you a lot of money but maybe not generating a lot of conversions. And you can use this information to make decisions on whether you still target them areas or whether you reduce the bids in them areas. Then we can keep coming down. We can see there's things like call details, free clicks. Unfortunately that's something that you don't see a lot of in AdWords. In fact, let's have a look, see if we got any. No, so last month no free clicks. Yeah, it's a rarity. It does happen from time to time, but in my experience, not very often. So yeah, it's a very useful section. It's very underutilized by a lot of advertisers, and I would highly recommend that you come in here and analyze these stats once you do have some data. And undoubtedly, there's going to be areas that you find that are both performing a lot better than other areas, and then areas that are performing really poorly. And these are the areas that are obviously just cutting through your budget with little results. So you need to be able to identify these areas so you can take action on them and either pause them or use some kind of bid adjustment to make them profitable. Okay, so that's it. That's the Dimensions tab. Now you won't actually be able to make changes in this section. This is more of an area just to analyze things. If you actually want to make changes to things like ad schedule and location bids, you're going to need to come here to the settings tab to do that. And as you can see here, we have all settings, and then you have things like locations, ad schedule, devices. So if you want to make adjustments on any of these, you would come here. So for example, on ad schedule, we might want to bid more aggressively on Monday because we knew that was a good day. So we would increase the bids here. Tuesday was a bad day, so again, maybe we could decrease the bid here by whatever percentage we decide. And if we go to locations, we're going to have a breakdown again. And again, you can see here that I've already been making quite a few bid adjustments in this section just based on that data. So yeah, it's a mixture of the settings and the dimensions, I guess, this video. But the dimensions is really just an area where you can do a lot of digging in the account. It's where you can find a lot of opportunities. And as we've discussed in previous videos, It's all about finding those little areas that you can tweak, those little areas that are doing well but maybe not getting the exposure that they need, and also the areas that are just performing terribly that we need to either adjust or cut from the campaigns. And as I've mentioned many times before, all these things are just going to keep stacking on top of each other and making your campaigns more effective and more profitable for your business. Okay, so that's the Dimensions video. I hope you found that useful, and I will see you in the next video.